It wasn't going live. Just give me a second. Take two. All right, now I'm live. What's up, family? How y'all doing? This is take two. I was just talking to myself in take one. Come on in. Start your watch parties. You know who it is. This is Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Friends of ADOS TV channel, bringing you those ADOS hot topics and making the case for reparations some more. Yes, that's what we do over here. I've got two extraordinary, illustrious guests coming in this afternoon. Okay? Good afternoon on the West, the Central, and the East Coast. I don't know if I did that the second time around. I've got the incomparable Arthur Ward and the incredible Cynthia McDonald out of ADOS Chicago. They're putting in work, family. Yes, they are. And they're here today to help me dig in to the Comcast ruling, to the stimulus package, and to talk a little on COVID. Absolutely, family. It is so imperative that we guarantee that ADOS is a protected class through it all. And we can see what they're doing, trying to tamper with our civil rights, making it difficult for us to sue for discrimination, for being locked out of access to white capital that we already know was built on the back of our ancestors' family. Yes, we're going to talk about that stimulus being another major money grab for corporate. Yes, how they're getting more of a bailout than Main Street. They're talking about tax refund loans for the ADOS. And Cynthia is going to share with us a beautiful letter that she and the ADOS Chicago have drafted to make sure our elected officials understand the needs are even more dire for that of ADOS family, and that our needs are unique and special because we're the ones that are predominantly impacted by unemployment and underemployment and homelessness, right, family? Absolutely. How y'all doing during COVID, during the Rona? I thank you guys for the hilarious videos that you guys have been sending me. It's been so great. Hey, Joelle, thank you so much, fam, for joining the live. Joelle Jones, Dayton, Ohio, running for office. Joelle, if you could put your link, if you can type in the chat how we can support you, please type your website so we can start supporting you in every way that we can. But I want you guys to take a special care of yourself during the coronavirus. This is a real thing, family. I was sharing with my partner in the Friends of ADOS hack. We were talking about how the Asians have been up on this for a long time. I don't know if you ever see them wearing their masks throughout the airport and in the stores. It was very peculiar until now. So we were the last ones to really get informed and hipped on how to protect ourselves against the virus. And everything I see coming out of the news cycle is dealing with another ADOS that is fallen due to this dreadful virus that has come to sweep the country. We are now, because our administration, Trump and his boys were not on top of this, we are now the epicenter with the highest numbers and growing for people infected with this virus and people dying from this virus. And ADOS is hardest hit as a result of that. So I hope you're watching the news. I hope you're believing what you're seeing because it is real. Don't listen to Trump talk about going anywhere for Easter, like he can resurrect the economy on Easter Sunday. That's not how Rona works, family. And you got to make sure you're wearing your mask. You got to make sure you're taking your supplements. You got to make sure you're getting your rest. You got to make sure you're praying, you're meditating. You got to drink a lot of water. Infuse your water with lemons and limes and apple cider vinegar, family. You must do these things to shore up your immune system so you can ward these things off. And I don't care how ridiculous it looks. If you can't find a mask, you make one for the materials in your house. That's what we do. We don't go in these streets without our masks. and you keep 6 feet on the line. Most of the grocery stores are now taping it off out here, where you have to keep 6 feet apart. You have to make your hand sanitizers. 2,000 deaths in New York City. You understand me, family? Their hardest hit in a place that I used to live at, a place that I know and love, and still have a bunch of family and friends, because my friends have become my family in New York City. You've got to be doing these things, family. You must take care of yourself. You must take this seriously. This should be a national state of emergency. And tragically, we've got a president that thinks it's okay for these governors to keep their beaches open for spring break and things of this nature. It is just not the case, family. This is a national state of emergency, and you need to be treating it as such and making your mask and wearing gloves and making sure you sanitize these things when you get back in the house. You've got to come up with your own solutions. There's a video circulating that I posted on my wall. You can check it out on YouTube, where the gentleman has come up. He's a bushman that lives in Florida, Rasayana. One of the family out of New York actually tried this prescription. It's not anything that the industry is going to tell you, but he talks about how the virus enters the nose, okay, and then travels to the chest. If you aren't expelling that mucus daily when you come in from outside, over a pot of sea salt and citrus rinds. I put in garlic and onion, and you put your little towel over it and you inhale that for about 10 minutes. Inhale, exhale, because it is the heat from that sauna with those nature ingredients that actually will kill whatever bacteria that has attached to the nose that could potentially become a full-blown virus within you. One of the sisters shared about it, and I shared her story in my feed about how she used that to reverse the virus, to kill it in her body, just from using his recipe of citrus rinds, onion, garlic, and sea salt. I love you, Black. I love you, strong, Rosalind Fox. Thank you so much for joining the live. I'm going to bring up my guest right now because I'm sure they have things to add to the COVID discussion before we embark on the Comcast ruling and the stimulus. So help me, family. Give a warm love in the chat for our guests, Arthur Ward and Cynthia McDonald. Stand by. Hey, Arthur Ward.
Hey, how you doing?
Cynthia McDonald.
Hey, sis.
I love y'all, Black. I love y'all, strong. How y'all doing?
I'm just fine for right now.
Fine. Up with me. And I'm so grateful because we need y'all more than ever right now. That's right. Friends of ADOS TV, thank you so much for joining the live. Did you guys have anything to add to my COVID discussion before we transition about ways in which can take care of themselves during this time?
Okay. Well, I mean, the drink plenty of water argument does work, and I would also put in. I just ordered a stationary bike and a weight bench for use here at home. You know, so I say still get that in, and plenty of this. It helps. Shit. Gotta have it.
Absolutely.
That will kill more COVID virus than any other concoction I can think of. I'm still well.
I like to add that has not been corroborated by science, but here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. I mean, like, I am always an advocate for anything that can like boost like your immune system. So definitely taking like vitamins, taking supplements is always a very good thing. Drink plenty of water. I have my purified water right here. I ain't got no wine out yet, but that will happen later. But yeah. I can't really substantiate anything about it like killing corona, but you know, I just do it just so I can just relax. I mean,
I understand, my sister. Dawn Page, welcome to the live, says, do not take ibuprofen. Do not
Nope.
take ibuprofen if you're feeling symptomatic. Don't
interesting.
take ibuprofen. Take and set as and
Acetaminophen,
Oh yeah,
oh,
Tylenol.
thank you.
Tylenol.
Yeah,
Tylenol. Yeah.
no ibuprofen. Rosalind Fox says alkaline water. And if any of the family has any more that they can share about things they're doing to share, Trey, welcome to the live. If you guys have anything else you can add, I don't know why I'm getting feedback. Are you hearing that feedback?
Just a
Yeah,
little
but
bit.
it's not direct. It's coming through whatever you're hearing.
I know it. I don't understand. Why am I getting it? It's interesting to me. There is feedback. Oh wow. Any suggestions on what I can do to kill the feedback? Let's see. Turn that off. I turned off. Oh, I think I fixed it. Well, maybe not.
Well,
It
you
does.
coming in good now.
I know, but there's something going on with my side because I'm still hearing some feedback when I speak. Let me see. If I turn off my phone, maybe? I don't know.
I know
I'm
that
not,
I put everything on mute on my side.
you muted on your side?
Like I muted, like I turned off all my phone and all my media. The only thing that I have on now is just the microphone so that you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you just fine. But when I speak, I hear feedback. Are you using a speaker? I'm not using an external speaker. The only speaker I'm using is the one on my phone. I'm going to try muting my speaker, muting my sound family. Let me know if you can still hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah,
You
can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Now I can't hear you, but
Oh,
you
that
can
sucks.
hear me.
I can hear you.
And the feedback stopped.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I can't hear you guys if I mute my speakers, but something's going on.
Well, just turn down your speakers.
Yeah, maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
Huh?
Turn down your speakers.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah. Can you still hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Well, then we'll just roll with that.
You should probably use a mic. Huh. Should I maybe put you on my headset?
If that works,
Yeah, I think that might work better.
that might work. Yeah.
Okay, they were saying that Rosalind said the speakers, that it was fine before I added my guest. Let me try getting my earbuds. Stand by, family. We're going to have this show. You know how it goes. Stand by. Let me find my headset.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I guess not
Yes.
coming through, right? headset. Hold on. Okay. Headset with microphone. Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, great. Do you hear feedback?
Can you turn yourself up a little bit though?
Okay. Okay, can you hear me if I hold this to my mouth? Why do I sound?
Yeah, but I don't think you have to hold it as close.
Okay. Is that how's that?
I can hear you.
Okay. Good afternoon, Antonia. Thank you for joining the live. Okay, let's get back to it. We said stay away from ibuprofen. Very good. And to do Tylenol for feeling symptomatic. I don't know why I still hear feedback on my end. But what I may do is try to mute. This is interesting. I still, even though I have the headset in, I still hear feedback whenever I speak.
Mm.
Let me try bringing you guys up one at a time. Maybe it's the three of us. I'm going to take Arthur first on the Comcast 1866 and then bring you back up. Let me bring you down, Cynthia, and see if that helps mitigate some of this.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Arthur.
Yes.
I don't know that helped. It was worth a shot. Cynthia, if you can mute, let me mute your sound, Cynthia. Okay. Oh, that's better. Okay, I've muted Cynthia. So Cynthia, stand by. I'll do Arthur first and then I'll bring you up. That is so much better. Thank you, family, for your patience while we figured that out. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know if the feedback has cleared up now that I've muted Cynthia's mic and just left Arthur upstairs. I'll bring Cynthia up from the lobby after we discuss the 1866. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so go ahead, Arthur, let's talk about what just happened with the Supreme Court deciding to rule that we now have to prove that discrimination was the sole reason that we have been denied access to white capital and locked out, basically, instead of in part. Why is that problematic for ADOS?
Well, okay. I'm gonna do this from a neutrality standpoint. This was litigated under a situation where it's hard to prove, but it's very easy to know. Okay, racism. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
How would you prove that a person had a racist thought behind making a business decision? You understand what I'm saying? How would you do that? Now, Allen originally sued under Section 1981 of the Civil Rights Act of 1866. This Reconstruction era law, it guarantees that all people have the same right to contract, now listen, as enjoyed by white citizens. Now, Allen alleged that his race was a motivating factor in Comcast's decision not to carry his network and argued that this should be illegal under Section 1981. But Comcast argued that Allen had to allege that race was the but-for cause of Comcast's decision. Essentially, Comcast argued that Allen needed to show that deep, malicious racism was the only thing Comcast executives were thinking about when they decided to shut out Allen's network. How do you prove that? How do you prove what's going on in another individual's head? Okay.
Yes.
And then partially, I think this is where they were coming from. But at the same time, we all know why they did it. All Black people know why they did it. And many white people know why they did it too. It was racism.
Right.
But at the same time, how do you empirically prove that to a compelling level in a situation like a Supreme Court? And I must admit that it's nearly impossible. But at the same time, All of these white people on that court, and including the one black one, knows that racism was the motivating factor. So therefore, all of these supremacists, including the litigants, decided to vote against Brian's position and vote for Comcast's position because, admittedly, it's an ephemeral thing in an empirical sense, but it's a knowable thing from the standpoint of African Americans. So I think we got screwed on this.
I mean, it's a royal screw, and it wasn't just the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Many people argue with me about the show up, vote Democratic down ballot strategy because they want to preserve some Democrats on the in the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world, after a unanimous decision, do you think having Democrats in the Supreme Court makes any difference?
It doesn't. Look, and when you look at the court, it comprises everything that the Democrats perceive as the ideal or market to us as the ideal. We got Justice Kazan, she's LGBTQ, okay? We have Sotomayor, she's Mexican, okay? We have Ruth Bader, she is a feminist, Jewish feminist at that, okay? And then we have a black guy who is actually a white person with a black skin, okay? And then we have two other justices who are supposedly liberal, but every one of them voted for white supremacy. And this is what we must expect. You know what? I recently bought this book called The Tricknology of the Enemy. And this was from a lecture that Elijah Muhammad gave in 1961. And he said, and I'm quoting, he said, "I say we don't believe in begging. That's true. We don't believe in getting on our knees, praying to our slave masters' children to give us nothing. But the freedom to go for ourselves and let us create our own needs due to the fact of injustice being given to the so-called American Negro or Negroes, this administrating of the lash and the beatings of the shooting down of our people in the streets has caused us to seek justice at any price. We must have it, and we do desire to get out of your courts and from under your judges who are determined to give us an injustice decision. They will never do justice for us. It is almost impossible." That was in 1961. What we're looking at now in 2020. Not much different, right?
Right.
But this is not to say that we're not powerless in this situation. See, what Black people have and what we need to get back to using in a more proactive sense is what I call the power of the grapevine. We need to make it poisonous through giving people information, through talking to people, to turn Comcast into an anti-Black situation. Why are you a customer of Comcast? They're anti-Black. They're no different from giving money to the Ku Klux Klan.
Amen.
We also have the power to make deals with other cable companies to give ADOS people special deals that switch from Comcast to their system. It's all business. This is all business. You understand what I'm saying? So in order for us to get wrapped up in this, and also too, they have not destroyed the 1866 Civil Rights Act. They've only, through this one decision, has changed the way it can be looked at and also changed the way that it could be used as a precedent. But we're not done yet with this, okay? And then also, don't forget, we also have the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, okay, to work with. So no, we're not totally shut down with this. The 1866 Civil Rights Act is still in place, but they do need, but eventually we will have a situation where we can bring people to trial, bring companies to trial, make no precedents. And the other thing that we can do too is to get on the behinds of our Congressional Black Caucus for more laws to be put in place to strengthen the 1866 Civil Rights Act. Because remember, the Supreme Court can only interpret on acts and laws, but we have to give them more to work with, and we have to give them more things in the law that will help to slow them down from decisions like this. That makes sense?
Absolutely. Let me go to some of my viewers who have questions of you. Trey Lincoln just asked, do you know how many cable channels Comcast owns?
It's not a matter of owning cable companies, cable channels. It's a matter of cable companies, of which Comcast is not the only one. In Chicago, we have WOW, we have AT&T, you know. So, I mean, I understand in some of those markets where Comcast may be the monopoly provider, but most Black people live in urban areas, and most urban areas have other companies that they can go to for these deals. But at the same time, don't just switch. You know, we got ADOS people on the ground now. They need to be getting together to talk to these people. You know, WOW,